Van Dijk demanded that he should score for Liverpool. Salah to settle in front of the Kop. Vicious cross, Mane! Alexander-Arnold, it's running!
From doubter to believer.
Hello Reds fans, Happy New Year and all that good stuff. Hopefully the new year was kind to you, or the New Year's Eve I should say, for us in Sydney, Australia. Basically all of Australia. It's been a little bit subdued, but I'm guessing it's going to be a bit like that for everyone all over the world due to the ongoing situation with the cough and all that crap. And hopefully 2021 is much better for all of us overall as opposed to what 2020 was. Not to say that we didn't have a great 2020 as Liverpool fans. Of course, we won our first league in 30 years, and what a way it was to win it. It's fantastic at a canter. And even City, who came second, didn't get the total points at the end of the season that we had before the pandemic break kicked in around March. So, well, it was a nice rub in your face. But the new season is a whole new prospect altogether, and that's what we're going to go through because we are looking ahead to Southampton and Liverpool FC. It's going to be a tricky match down at the Saints at St. Mary's, and it is one that we really cannot afford to draw, let alone lose, because the old enemy, the team from Manchester that is red, Manchester United, somehow, by some sheer dumb luck of incompetent refereeing, poor VAR officiating, and penalties galore, have snuck their way into first place, albeit we are still ahead on goal difference, or maybe they're on goal difference. Who knows? Who cares? The main thing is that they are first, equal first, and that is not something that we should ever stand for as Liverpool fans. How dare they? But I think we are first. We've scored more goals. I mean, that 7-0 against Palace gave us a bit of a boost, and they've been winning their games by a couple of goals here and there, sometimes by the odd goal. But it is still tight. We are merely not even halfway through the season just yet, and it is very tight from first all the way down to at least 11th, where Arsenal have clawed their way from 15th now after a 4-0 shellacking of West Bromwich Albion away. And it seems that West Brom have been pumped by two teams in the last two matches after playing against us in that 1-1 draw, where we didn't take our chances. Has to be said, we had more than enough opportunities and we wasted them, so we can only be angry with ourselves. But West Brom playing at home seem to be a very piss-poor side indeed, because they've lost by multiple goals. I think they versed Leeds last time and absolutely tore them to shreds or something to that effect. But it is what it is. So, Tottenham are getting third, Leicester are in fourth, Everton are in fifth, but they're all on 29 points. Then on 26 points from 6th till 10th, you've got Chelsea, Villa, City, Manchester City, that is, Southampton, West Ham, then you've got Arsenal, Leeds on 23, you've got Wolves and Crystal Palace on 22, Newcastle on 19, Burnley in 16th on 16, Brighton in 17th on 14, Fulham on 11, West Brom on 8, and Sheffield United, 2 points, 15 losses, 2 draws, 0 wins after 17 games. At the moment, they're on track to have the worst ever record in the Premier League for any team. Now, that is something. For a manager who complained that he thought Klopp was making it all about him with the 5 subs rule and whatever the case is. Bloody hell, whatever his manager's name is, Dean Smith or whoever the hell it is, don't really give a shit. He basically has always been about not needing the 5 subs, saying it was going to be an advantage to the other Premier League teams. But in saying that, it's an advantage to everyone because you can rest some of your players, you can blood new players, you could do a whole bunch of other bits and pieces. But oddly enough, they do not want to have anyone coming onto the pitch and replacing some old tired players. So I don't know who the manager is. I don't really care. I think I've probably got it wrong, but who gives a shit? I'll probably realise who it is after the podcast is recorded. But in any case, main point of that summary is that it is very tight up the top, and let's be real, I think if we all ask ourselves, who would we rather have chasing us for the Premier League title? Would it be Manchester City or Manchester United? I think we'd all agree Manchester United. It seems the traditional teams that will really need to be up there competing and challenging for the prestigious Premier League trophy, and that's how we bloody well should be. We don't need oil merchants or oil barons or people coming in buying the league. And I know it sounds a bit rich coming from a Liverpool team that have spent over the years, and handsomely so, but it is very minuscule in comparison to the likes of Manchester City and Chelsea over the last 10 years, give or take, shall we say. Manchester United, of course, have had their own issues with transfers and spending as well, but I think we can forgive them in this instance. If we had to choose, I would say Manchester United should be our title contenders every single day of the week. Now, enough waffling. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this one. So we are taking on Southampton. It is happening Monday night, 8 p.m. kickoff for those overseas, 7 a.m. Tuesday morning for us down under. We are taking on Southampton. It is going to be a do-or-die clash for Liverpool, and it's not exactly do-or-die. Let's be real here. We are, still a long way away from any sort of, shall we say, final outcome of where we will be in the league, but still with Manchester United somehow creeping up into equal first or second, or however we want to classify them, we have literally no margin for error anymore, because we really need to get ourselves up and running. We cannot afford any more draws, let alone any bloody damn losses. So first up for Southampton, whilst this has not been the worst fixture for us in previous seasons, I think this season they've actually done quite well. Last season, up until this point, they were getting absolutely battered and hammered. I think they lost 9-0 to Leicester at one point, and then they stuck with Hasselhoodle and made a big turnaround. Bought some players, notably Danny Ings, leaving from us at Liverpool, moving over to Southampton, which was a great move, and he will be raring to go against us in a couple of days' time. But they have improved immensely, and it shows in their standings. And again, whilst they maybe not dazzling in the top six or pushing for the European places at the moment, as I said, between 6th and 10th, they're all on 26 points. So Southampton, they can very easily overtake Chelsea, Villa, City if they keep plugging along and getting them some results. But City still have 2 games in hand. Chelsea are versing City tonight, as it were, from when you'll be hearing this. So that is a big game for us as well in the grand scheme of things. Notably, a draw suits us very well. A draw maybe doesn't suit either party in that sense, because they'll just still be creeping on 27, and they'll just, Chelsea will remain in 6th, and City will jump up to 7th, with Aston Villa not having lost, rather, I should say, and having the game in hand still to play. So Southampton not doing too badly in the grand scheme of things. The last few fixtures, 2-1 win away to Brighton, a 3-0 win at home to Sheffield United, a 1-1 draw away at the Emirates when Arsenal were doing pretty piss poorly, and they're a little bit better now. Only a 1-0 win to Manchester City a couple of weeks ago, a 0-0 draw against Fulham away, and a 0-0 draw against West Ham at home just a couple of days ago. Whereas for Liverpool, we haven't played in about 5 days' time, so we should be well rested, and Southampton will probably need to be pretty much raring to go and up for it, because we know as Liverpool players and the squad, Klopp likes to have them drilled and to press and to run and do all the things that we do, that we are known for. But again, in this game, it's not going to be straightforward sailing. So, as it were, for Southampton, they haven't done too badly. As I said, James Ward-Prowse is still someone that we need to look out for with his set pieces. He's got 4 goals, 3 assists. Has pretty much generally very, very good games. Vestergaard also has got himself a couple of goals at centre back, and oddly enough, apparently rumour has it that we're looking around Southampton. Oddly enough, that we go to Southampton when we need to buy players, being Liverpool FC, but it's only mere rumour just now. We don't know what's exactly happening. Danny Ings, of course, their leading goal scorer, 6 goals, 3 assists. As I said, he'll be raring to go. Kyle Walker-Peters can do something from deep. You've got Che Adams as well, who plays as their forward, and he hasn't had the worst of games either. But these are some of the top 5, top 6 players you need to look out for the Southampton team. Now, in saying that, for our Liverpool team, the best players we've got at the moment, Mohamed Salah, 13 goals, 3 assists. We've also got Sadio Mane, who's got 6 goals, 2 assists. Firmino somehow has got 5 goals. Mind you, this is in the Premier League. So Firmino, decent return. Obviously, liked him to have a little bit more, but what the hell? Beggars can't be choosers. 3 assists there. Nathaniel Phillips has done well. No goals, but he's for the minutes and the games he's played, he's actually done very, very well. Matip, surprise, surprise, is out now for a couple of games. We'll get into that shortly. Fabinho as our best centre-back, even though he's not a centre-back, one of the best centre-backs in the league. And I know Manchester United fans were bigging up Eric Bailly the other day on their 2-1 win. But I don't think you can compare. Eric Bailly is actually a centre-back, whereas Fabinho is not a centre-back, and he's got the number 1 stats in the league for tackles, clearances, passes, all that shit from a defensive player. Plus, he has played more as Eric Bailly. So before you start comparing Bailly to Van Dijk, please check yourselves, you imbeciles. So that's our players there. Now, our form hasn't been the best, hasn't been the worst. Draws against Midtjylland and Fulham, both away from home. There was a big 2-1 win, late win, Firmino with that bullet header against Tottenham at home, against Mourinho Football. The 7-0 mauling of Palace away. The 1-1 with Big Sam at Anfield. As I said, he's been walloped twice now since then. And the 0-0 against Newcastle United the other day, where we really missed an opportunity to get ourselves some leeway at the top of the table, because I think we all knew in hindsight that Manchester United would get their job done in their match. And, you know, as it were, they beat Villa, so that's where they are standing at the moment. In saying that, though, we haven't played too badly, but if I may just for a second speak out of turn, I know a lot of Liverpool fans sometimes like to look with blinders on, like the horse blinders, and only see what's in front of them. The greater picture is much different. In that Newcastle game, it looked like our front three were void of ideas and didn't know what to do going forward. Now, whether they're tired, whether they are trying to walk the ball in, a la old Arsenal, it is getting a little bit tiresome and frustrating when we, as fans, obviously, you know, being chair pundits, we can see the game differently and we can put our thoughts forward. Tongue-tied at them for the bit there, but we really need to be able to look at offering something different when going forward. I mean, the ball to Salah is an obvious one. Mane out wide, standing up his player, but he's always got 2 players around him in some instances, and he can't move around as much. Firmino doesn't have the space that he's afforded to operate. That's my frustration with the team at the moment. Now, against Newcastle, what I did notice was when the long-awaited debut of Thiago Alcantara. Yes, that's a joke. We know he's played already, but he's been out for so long. It's like he came in, you know, just before January by some, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, special pleading. He was able to play a couple of days before January 1st, let's just say that. And you could see as soon as he came on already, 6 passes, long balls completed, aerial duels won, passing accuracy, all that shit. You could just see we were a different team when he came on, but I think he came on a little bit too late for us in that game. And that game against a defensive Newcastle was exactly where we want someone like Thiago in that squad. So if we are going to go away from home against Southampton, who are not really defensive, but you still want someone who's going to be able to pick passes out, Thiago is your player. And I think alongside Wijnaldum and Henderson, that's who would be in my midfield 3, and I'll explain why shortly as well. That's who I'm looking at playing in this game against a plucky Southampton team. So that's my gripe for ourselves against Newcastle. Against West Brom, again, we just didn't do anything right. We had that many chances. We only had ourselves to blame, and I think we can, in hindsight, look at that and say, okay, we could have done a better job. But we move on. We go again. Famous Gerrard saying, and I think the hashtag has been known to be "we go again" as well, so it works out. But in terms of who's going to start this match, if we're looking at the previews, I mean, we are hopefully going to get ourselves some goals in this game, because I said we cannot afford to lose this match. A draw is another worst case scenario, as it were, but we will have Andre Mariner as the referee, the assistants of Scott Ledger and Simon Long, the 4th official Stuart Atwell, Andy Madley in VAR, and Stephen Child as the assistant VAR. Now, some quick stats before we get into the meat and potatoes. I've already said that. I need a new saying. Anyways, on the squad that Southampton have beaten all 6 teams to win the Premier League trophy when defending their crown. So they could now become the first team to beat all 7 Premier League champions in the season following a title win. So every time the defending champions have come to their home ground, they have beaten them, and let's not let that happen to us. Since Ralph Hasenhüttl took charge of Southampton on December 2018, Danny Ings has been directly involved in 38 Premier League goals with 31 strikes and 7 assists. That is 16 more than the player with the next highest total for the club, James Ward-Prowse, as I said, 2 of the most dangerous players in the Southampton team. Liverpool, however, are unbeaten in our last 8 Premier League meetings with Southampton, with 6 wins, 2 draws, keeping a clean sheet in 6 of those matches. Touch wood, Alisson's going to have a blinder. Mohamed Salah has scored 7 goals in 6 Premier League matches against Southampton, only scoring more against Bournemouth and Watford with 8 each. So that's a little bit of a taste of what's to come for the Reds in this match. Now, in saying that, players in and out. For Southampton, they will be missing Vestergaard, who again is rumoured to be on our radar, and Nathan Redmond, who can be dangerous when playing on the wings, but evidently is not going to be out in this match, or at least he is a doubt to start. So you're most likely going to see, in no particular order, in no 100% certainty of anything, McCarthy in goal, Ryan Bertrand will be bombing up and down the wings, Stevens and Benderek will be at centre-back, Walker-Peters on the right side, Armstrong, Ward-Prowse in the middle, Romeu being their defensive midfielder that he is, formerly of Chelsea, Walcott, started out Southampton, went to Arsenal, back at Southampton now, scored against Arsenal a couple of weeks ago as well. He's on age, but he can still, cause some problems. Shane Long, how the hell Shane Long has been playing this whole time, I have no idea. And Che Adams, who is amongst one of the starters there, but Danny Ings, he only came back from an injury the other week in the 0-0 draw with West Ham, so he will like to start against Liverpool, but whether Hasenhüttl will actually say, yeah, go on and start running off the bat, who knows? He may start him and look to say, in the first 30 minutes, try and get yourself a goal, but I would think that Ralph, if he plays this one smart, he will look to defend, look for opportunities on the counter-attack, and then again, like every other manager who's managed to get a point against us this season has noticed, you hold us for about 60, 70 minutes, then you bring on another striker, and that's when you actually get yourself a bit of joy against our defense, because if we can't score against you, you will always find an opportunity if you are just defending, but that needs you to be defending very, very well for 90 plus minutes, and that is something that Southampton will need to concentrate on actually doing. For our Liverpool Reds, well, as I said, we've had 5 days off. Some players didn't play against Newcastle. Some came back from injury. Some have been out for a while. And those that are out, still big names. It is just sad reading. I mean, some of these players would make a great 5-a-side team. Tsimikas, Van Dijk, Jota, Milner, Gomez, Matip and Keita. Milner only came back the other week, but apparently he might still be out now. He might have picked up another injury or something, if the information I'm using is correct and accurate, so take that with a grain of salt. If he's not injured, I don't want him starting in this match. I reckon you'll probably see him on the bench. But Keita, again, pulled up sharp. Matip is out for a couple of weeks now, apparently, so Williams or Phillips will be starting in this match. If he's going to go on a rotation basis, Klopp, he may want to start Williams, as Phillips played against Newcastle. Wijnaldum missed out against Newcastle altogether against his former team, so that's why I say I think Wijnaldum will start in this match alongside Henderson and Thiago, because if Thiago is fit, I'd see no reason to leave him out on the bench for 70, 80 minutes in the game to only play, 10 or 20 minutes. So you start him or you don't play him at all. If he's fit, you start the bastard, and he's going to damn well play. The only other thing with Diogo Jota, apparently he's close when he got injured. He was going to miss, somewhere like 12 games or something like that. So I don't know if that's missing 12 games and then coming back from the injury, or if that's 12 games and then he's starting again. I don't know. It's unclear to me. Fingers crossed he comes back. And why Klopp played him in a nothing pointless match against Midtjylland in the Champions League, I'll have no idea, because that's where he got his injury from. Klopp can really piss you off at times for doing dumb, needless things, and some people argue, it's for his confidence and it's to get his goals up and blah, blah, blah. The goal's already on 9 goals this season. He doesn't need confidence. The goal was scoring hat-tricks in the Champions League, scoring 1s and 2s in the Premier League. Guy doesn't need confidence. The guy should not have been playing in that game, period. But anyways, Mane, Firmino, Salah, they're your front three. There is no other. And again, if I may, my gripe is that they've just trying to be a little bit too clever. Just have shots, man. You're playing against low blocks. If Thiago's going to ping one over the top, if he's going to put a ball through, just first time it. Don't try and cut through byline, cut back, all that bullshit. You get a chance on goal, you hit it first time, get yourself a couple of goals. That's what you should be doing. As I said, Wijnaldum, Thiago, Henderson is my midfield, and Robertson will most likely play left back. Trent will play right back. Fabinho, Williams in the middle. Alisson in goal. Pretty self-explanatory. Shaqiri, I'd like to see a little bit more of. Shaq, the Shaq attack, come on off the bench. We also know that Minamino has had some minutes here and there, so it'll be nice to see him. Chamberlain is another option we can put in on the bench. Of course, Divock Origi is there. So we do have some players who can come in and still do a job for us. So fingers crossed we can get something going in this game. But in saying that, as I said a little bit earlier on, Liverpool have won our last 6 matches against Southampton in all comps. We have drawn 5 of our last 6 away matches, though. The only one we didn't draw was that 7-0 bashing of Crystal Palace. But we have scored at least 2 goals in our last 6 matches against Southampton in all comps as well. So hopefully there are some goals in this. But Southampton have kept clean sheets in 5 of their last 7 home matches. So they're pretty good at home. And whereas away, we've been subject to average. Southampton have failed, however, to score in the last 3 matches, period. Southampton have seen over 2.5 goals in their last 4 matches against Liverpool in all comps as well. And there have been under 2.5 goals scored in Southampton's last 4 games. So this could be a 1 or 2 goal game. I'm hoping it's a 1-0 to Liverpool or a 2-0 to Liverpool. It's not my prediction, but that's what I'm hoping it's going to be. I mean, stats point our way. We've got the better players. We've got the better goal scorers. We've got the better assists in this game. I mean, we've got the flair players. We know we can put a couple away. If Salah or Mane can do a player on the opposition and get themselves on goal and have a shot, we know that can happen. We will play high. We will press high because that's the only way we know how to play. And, if we do go behind, there is always a chance that Liverpool will come back because we've seen it so many times in the Premier League season of last year. It's been happening again this year as well. Even though we haven't conceded first at times, we've still managed to push on and go for something. Obviously, it hasn't worked for us in some instances, but when it has worked, that has seemed to have been the case. And, we're always dangerous on the counter-attack, but that is dependent on Southampton's style of play. If they're going to be attacking us and we're going to have spaces to operate within. If we have space to operate within in the midfield or the forward lines, then it could be dangerous for Southampton's defence because we could get in multiple times. If Thiago is pinging those balls in across or through to our front 3, I think this could be a tough day for Southampton, but we'll see what happens in a couple of days' time. Again, I don't have a prediction per se. I'm just giving you the information, what is going on, what is happening. And as it stands, it is 1st versus 9th. It is Liverpool away to Southampton, looking to get some breathing space in the chasing line because Manchester United are 2nd on equal games, but on goal difference we are ahead by about 8 goals. So provided we can keep winning and not losing games, draws you can live without. We play United in a few weeks' time as well, so that could be a big game. That's what their proverbial 6-pointer that is. But we'll see what happens. Before our game, though, we've got Newcastle versus Leicester and Chelsea versus Man City. The Burnley and Fulham game is postponed due to the Rona, and there's been rumours flying around as to why that Rona has come about. I'm not going to get conspiratorial because a lot of people get upset, but that is where I'm going to leave it. So that is Statisfaction. A long one, 25 minutes. Bloody hell, I didn't think I could speak solo for this long, but here we are. New year, same old me. Once again, Happy New Year to everyone out there, all the Reds fans, all the people who love their football. Hope everyone is well and happy, and maybe get 3 points away at Southampton in a couple of days' time, and let's keep the Manx behind us as they bloody well should be.